Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. We're back on the new couch. So you know what time it is. It's Friday night. It is time for another weekly movie review with yours truly. So this week I saw a film that I was really excited about seeing. It was one that I wasn't able to see in the theaters and was really disappointed because there was so much marketing and fanfare and hype behind it. I was really expecting great things. I mean, this was the first time since probably GoldenEye that a Bond film had been so highly touted and so highly just marketed. I mean, you couldn't turn on a TV without seeing something about Skyfall. So as you can tell, we're reviewing Skyfall this week. The newest in the Daniel Craig series of him playing 007 James Bond. It is also featuring, as always, Judi Dench playing M, Javier Bardem playing the villain named Silva, Naomi Harris, who is a new character and kind of liked her. She's cute. We'll get to her character in a minute. Ralph Fiennes, so I can never pronounce his name, but he does a fine job. Ba-doom-tsh. That was bad. And finally, Ben Whishaw. So, I don't want to give too much away about this movie, but I have to say first and foremost, I love James Bond. I've always loved James Bond. Every man's man in the world loved James Bond. I mean, look at James Bond through history. Good looking, funny, handsome, great with the ladies, great cars, great gadgets, great clothes. He's everything that every guy wants to be. I mean, that's just what it is. He just is. And I thought that they did go a little different way when they brought, Daniel Craig on board. And I was okay with that, I liked where he went in Casino Royale. I thought Casino Royale was a great movie. Didn't like Quantum of Solace as much. Nobody did. Got it. Whatever. So I thought this was really going to be the GoldenEye of Daniel Craig, if you will. That breakout Bond that you just remember. And on the surface, it had a lot of those elements, I gotta say. Most Bond movies, you need to take with multiple grains of salt. That's just what it is. Bond movies aren't meant to be broken down as, real life case studies. Bond movies are meant to be 2 hours of everything I just described earlier, and hopefully catch a bad guy, bang some cute chicks, make a comment about a martini. All right, you got a Bond movie. We're good. It's supposed to be an escape, so I get that, and I'm fine with that. But this movie has to be taken with an ocean's worth of salt, just to look past the plot holes. And I'm the type of person, I'm good with, disconnecting and just, hey, we're going to just watch some mindless entertainment. I'm cool with that. There are a lot of movies in my collection I love for that reason. But this is one of those movies that if you could turn your brain on to watch it and then turn your brain off the second that the end credits roll, you would probably like the movie. But as soon as you start actually going back and thinking through the story, even on the most basic level, the plot holes, start showing up like a side of a building that a Vulcan minigun has shot out, which ironically is in one of the scenes. It's almost difficult to keep track of. There are so many plot holes. Just one on top of the next. And I don't want to get into too many of them, because it will give away most of the movie. But it is essentially a revenge plot built up over 20 years that completely disregards the entire first scene. And really there's no point to it. It's like, essentially, we start off with seeing this hard drive that has super important, hidden MI6 agents that are deep undercover in terrorist organizations are all on one hard drive because, well, you have to have things like that to make it a movie because, real life shit like that doesn't happen because people are too smart. Come on, Judi Dench, get with it. So this hard drive's stolen, and Bond and this new chick, Naomi Harris, are trying to get it, and Bond gets injured and disappears for a while. Okay, cool. Well, if you really go back and think, at the end of the movie, what was even the point of the villain stealing the hard drives? What was the point? Then if you flash forward to a scene in Macau. Okay, cool, in Macau. They had Komodo dragons, for one thing, which I love Komodo dragons, but come on. Komodo dragons in a casino eating somebody? Come on. And apparently Komodo dragons' backs work as a springboard because Bond can bounce off of one and fly like 15 feet in the air. That's cool too. So, in that scene alone, they attempt to kill Bond like 5 different times. And if you actually look at the overall sequence of events in the end of it, that would have ruined the entire movie. If they had been successful and actually killed Bond like they were trying to do, the movie would have ended there before we ever even met the villain of the movie. The movie would have ended in Macau. The villain's plans would have ended in Macau. The villain's entire multiple year plan that has been thought up, hacked into, designed, developed, would have ended if they had actually gone through with killing James Bond. So, okay, let's ignore that plot hole. All right. But one thing that just gets to me, we're not in the 50s or the 70s or the 80s. We'll say the 80s because that's when the computer, generation first started. And whenever a director needed some type of scary thing that the audience wouldn't have a clue what they were talking about, but because of not knowing sounded scary, the director would use hacking. All right, cool. The problem is we're not back then. In fact, we're in 2012. We live in a world populated by anonymous users, populated by, new fraud, scams, hacks happening every day, populated by movies who did hacking well. See Live Free or Die Hard. So, when you use hacking as that catch-all, it just doesn't make sense. And there's so many specific elements that I really want to go on, but I don't want to completely give the movie away. I almost feel like I should do a spoilers version of this review just to, really go through and... Okay, you know what? If you want to watch this, I'm going to tell you right now. It's a 2.5-star movie. Okay, it's a 3-star movie if you turn off your brain. Instead, it might even be 3.5 if you turn off your brain. But if you actually if you actually go back and think about it, it's maybe a 2.5-star movie. So I'm going to go a little bit further with this review, and then I'm going to tell you to stop if you don't want to see any spoilers. Then I'm going to go into spoilers because there's things I can't not talk about. So I will say Sam Mendes didn't do a horrible job in terms of direction because there were some very beautiful scenes. There's a scene pulling up to this island that's very well done. There's some great sprawling scenes in Scotland that are pretty awesome, surrounding a gorgeous home. Some scenes in London that I thought were very well done. Things on the London Underground that were pretty well done. So I didn't think the direction was horrible, but my biggest problem was the overall plot. It just was so unbelievably far-fetched that it almost seemed like a parody at times. Like the story was that far gone. I will say, I know a lot of people either love him or hate him when it comes to Javier Bardem's character. Personally, I like Javier Bardem. Every time I see him, I think of Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, which makes me love the guy. this character of Silva was incredibly over the top, was incredibly too much, but at the same time, that's what Bond villains always have been. They've always been over the top. They've always been too much. So I think to complain about that is nitpicky from a critical standpoint, when that's what has developed, that's what made Bond Bond, is villains like that. So I thought that in terms of the standard, over the top villain, I thought it worked well. The potential gay overtones, I thought actually were, I didn't think they added much, but I didn't think they took away. I didn't think it was like just for sensationalism. I thought the one little exchange that he made about between Bond and Silva regarding that, would it be your first time? Well, how would you know? Maybe I have experience. Things like, I thought that was kind of clever. But I did like the unpredictability of Silva. Silva was just so all over the place. I mean, 1 second he's, proposing that you come and work for him. The next second you're dueling. The next second he's pulling his face out. The next second he's plotting revenge. I mean, there's so many elements to it that I thought were well done. But the end game was just so ridiculous. And not in just the standard Bond way, if you will. And the fact that at any time in a movie in today's day and age, a man can look at the screen and very quizzically say, "We've been hacked." And that's just supposed to explain why literally every single thing that can go wrong is going wrong. Come on. So anyway, end of the day, if you can turn off your brain and just only see it that one time through and don't ever think about it again, you'd probably say it's a 3 to 3.5 star movie. If you go back and think about it, literally the more I think about it, the lower the stars go. I'm down to 2 stars now. It's that bad. Like, yeah, it's that bad. So now let's stop there. If you are planning on seeing the movie, go see it. Do not continue watching the spoilers, because it's going to be full of spoilers going forward. As always, thank you guys for the support. Check out MatthewMaley.com, Matthew Maley on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right, peace out. Now let's go to spoilers. So first off, I'm just going to go through this as chronologically as I can. First off, okay, when Bond first gets shot. Again, okay, he gets shot, whatever. If he had gotten, and then first off, why does she only shoot him when she has a fully automatic weapon? Okay, whatever. We'll ignore that. We'll let the fact go that he lived. Okay, sure, because, he'd already been shot once and now he got shot again and falls, 100 feet. That's cool, whatever. But the entire point of Javier Bardem's Silva's scheme is to be captured. And once he's captured, it is to be able to hack into MI6 after he's already hacked in, causing a gas explosion in M's office so that they go to the secondary fallout location for MI6, which he knows because he used to be an agent, to then hack out of that so he can run through the subway system for the sole purpose of being able to kill M. Now, mind you, he's put explosives all over the subway system. He's been able to hack into the, one of the most secure things in the world, causing explosions. Why wouldn't he have just made it, put some C4 where M was going to be? He knew where she was going to be. Why did he and his henchmen have to walk across town after he just escaped from one of the highest security places in the world to try and kill her with a pistol? Not even a rifle, a pistol. Why? That doesn't make any sense. First off, none at all. Second off, there's so many elements within that make no sense. Why was there a trap door in the cell? How did he kill the 2 guards as soon as the doors got hacked open? There were 2 armed guards that were both dead, just mysteriously laying there dead. How did that happen? Can anybody tell me? How come when we find him, when we locate him on the train, when Q finds him in the police uniform, How come they don't tell anybody else and it's only James who's chasing after him? And then, in addition, the whole thing of going, why was the hard drive stolen in the first place? The hard drive is stolen and he starts releasing names, but then he just stops. And technically, all that did was get him caught. But he could have gotten caught so many other easier ways. Then, I mean, just, oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to try to just ignore that for a second. Now let's go to the ending. To the Skyfall, if you will. That was the name of his childhood home. Okay, on the prairie, whatever. So he says that because for the whole time Silva's been a step ahead, that they need to take the power back. So he proceeds to grab Judi Dench, throw her in a DB5, Aston Martin DB5, that we never mention why it's there. I mean, I guess James Bond just has, $250,000 cars, so it's probably more than that. I don't know the price of vintage Aston Martins, sorry. Stashed in grungy, grimy looking garages around London. I guess that's what we're expecting in today's day and age. Even though he was supposed to be dead, so all of his stuff is supposed to be gone, which comes and goes wherever they need it to. Hence, when we get out to Skyfall and there's no more guns. So he decides that he's going to take the one person he's trying to protect out to a completely desolate location that has a collection of 2 shotguns and 2 pistols in the entire building to take on a platoon of highly trained, highly armed, including an attack helicopter, mercenaries. I'm all good with, a final shootout scene. It was fun, I'll give you that. But couldn't they have made a phone call? Maybe to the SAS? Maybe? I mean, if they weren't doing anything. Even give it a little call over to Ireland. See if maybe they could get some old members from the IRA to come over and help. Or even if on their way out, they would have stopped by any MI6 headquarters, any police headquarters, any place that they could have gotten some more guns. Because I'm sorry, all the gadgets and gimmicks and tricks in the world, 3 people, one of which is a trained super spy, one of which is an old butler, and the other one is an elderly leader of super spy, could take out 25, maybe 30 armed to the teeth mercenaries with a helicopter. Yeah. So those are just the main plot holes that I have a problem with. Like I said, I didn't really think about them until you started going back and actually thinking about it. And like I said, like I was thinking about the thing earlier in Macau. Technically, those security guards were trying to kill James Bond in the casino. If they had killed James Bond would have never captured Silva. Silva would have never then escaped from MI6, never would have then gone to try and kill Judi Dench. So literally, the entire movie would have been foiled if that Komodo dragon had bitten the other guy. Literally. The entire movie. The entire build-up, the entire everything of that movie. Done. Done. Like, completely done. And then another fun thing is, the one thing that I love is he has shrapnel taken out of his shoulder from the bullet. The guy's a ghost. But hey, we know that he's the guy who uses these specific type of shells. He's one of 3 in the world. But he's a ghost. Just so happens that we have friends at CIA who told us that he's coming into town later on today. But he's a ghost. He needs to work on being a ghost, apparently. Because that is not very good ghostness. Casper would be underwhelmed. So, as I was with the movie. So there you have it. Just some of the plot points. I don't feel like going through all the rest of them because, honestly, why waste more time on it? At the end of the day, I'm down to 2 stars. That was a crap movie. And for as much hype as they put into it, they just tried to do so much with it. And like, I was good with the revenge plot. I was good with the entire movie was based on Silva wanting to kill Judi Dench because she left him out there to die or be tortured or cyanide his face in half. I'm cool with that. I have no issue with that. That's fine by me. But make it a better revenge plot. And don't make it to where every single element of it is so far-fetched that it hurts your head thinking about it afterwards, which it did to mine. So there you have it. That is my newest weekly movie review, that of the new James Bond movie, Skyfall. My opinion, skip it. If you're a die-hard James Bond fan, you're going to watch it. But I really hope that James Bond 24 is better. That's the next one coming out. I really hope it is. Because visually, there were so many things that were good about this. There were a lot of good things in this movie. But the overall development and payoff was so lacking. So lacking. So, as always, thank you everybody for checking out my website. I am Matthew Maley. This is MatthewMaley.com. As always, you can check out all my videos on MatthewMaley.com. Finally got the website all good to go. So it is ready for you to come check it out. You can also check me out directly up on YouTube. Just search for Matthew Maley Poker or MatthewMaley.com. You can also check me out directly up on Facebook. Again, search for Matthew Maley Poker. You can follow your boy on Twitter at Matthew Maley and follow me on Instagram at Matthew Maley Poker. And until the next video, I'm officially signing off. Peace.